Well, this is what I'm up against this morning. I got up here to work on my floor, and I've got about 8 or 10 cows that belong to the Cattlemen's Association up here that have ran through my 5-string barbed wire, and they're just tearing their stuff up around here. I got to get on the four-wheeler and chase them off. The problem is we're a couple hundred yards away from Forest Service, and these cows are pretty rank cows, and they're just tearing stuff up. They're tearing my yard up. They're running over my plum trees. This is not a good thing. I'm not very happy. My dad used to cuss a little bit, but the words he chose to use weren't the real bad words. Most of the words that he chose to use could be found in the Bible in one form or another. My 4 brothers and I assumed that cussing was developed on the basketball court while my dad and my uncle measured themselves against each other. After my older brother spent one summer at our family ranch working, he came home and clarified that our dad's talent when it came to cussing was not developed on the basketball court, but instead working with cows. Idaho is a fence-out state. I get it, but I've fenced my place, and these cows still find their way in. There's one small section of fencing that needs to be repaired that borders the national forest, but it's not my property. I've done everything I can to protect my property, yet I still have issues with these cows. We've offered to help the association fix that section of fence, but it's not a priority to them. Maybe at some point later this year or next summer, we'll invite a handful of subscribers to come and help us fix what they won't fix. I took the old pine that I bought for a couple $100 that was being torn out of the machine shop, and I ripped it to the same dimensions that the circle sawn pine was at. I then ran it through the table saw on its side to make it a little bit thinner, with the table saw blade up as high as I could get it, trying to duplicate the saw marks in this old wood the way the new wood has it. It's not as defined, but it's quite unique. As a matter of fact, it's so unique that if I had the ability to get enough of this old recycled wood to do my whole house in, I would do it. I like the colors in it way better than the circle sawn pine, but I love those kerf marks in the circle sawn pine. You can just tell this wood is old. The grain is much tighter, and it's almost a shame to rip these 1x12s into 1x6s, but that's what I need them for. I put one coat of stain on the old pine and I put 2 coats of stain on the new Circle Sawn pine, but no matter how I work the stain, it's not going to match. I have enough Circle Sawn pine to do the hallway and to do the master bedroom. What I've done is I've landed the transition between the Circle Sawn pine and the old pine, so if the doors were closed as you were walking down the hall, you wouldn't notice it. I asked Cedar to run down to the hardware store and pick out the stain that she liked best. She looked at a number of different examples and she settled on the stain called Special Walnut. I trusted her and I picked up 2 1-gallon cans of the stain. We're really up against it. We're trying to get everything out of town, either moved up here or moved into storage. Cedar has done what she could do on her own while I've been working on the house. I'm getting pretty worn out, but I know it's got to be done. By getting the upstairs flooring finished, we can at least put the dressers, the beds in the middle of the room, and I can work around them with baseboard, trim, electrical, things like that, and yet still have access to the things that the kids are going to need, especially once school starts. There's part of me that wishes I had more time to consider and work on this flooring. I wonder if I could get a different tint to use on the Circle Sawn pine that might get it a little bit closer to the repurposed old pine, but we just flat don't have the time. My goal over the next 2 days is to work as long and hard as I need to by staining and sealing everything. All right, I have got everything patched in with the original Circle Sawn pine. I've got everything in the hallways done. I've got everything in the master bedroom done. Now my goal for today, being that tomorrow is the last day of the month, we're trying to get up completely moved up here by tomorrow. My goal for today is twofold. I've got to finish the master closet. I've got to finish Rhett and Reed's bedroom, this bedroom here, and I would like to finish this laundry room. Cedar wants me to do tile. It would be best to do tile in there, but I'm gonna do this wood, this older pine that I bought, the reclaimed, repurposed pine. I'm gonna go ahead and do that in there, and then I'm gonna put the washing machine in a washer pan to try and minimize the potential for water damage to the floor. The other day I learned the hard way that running this old pine through my sawmill on its side made a mess. It sent sawdust everywhere. So rather than using my shirt to catch this, I grabbed the nearest thing that I could, wrapped it around my neck, hoping it would keep the sawdust out. That piece of foam wrap did its job, but I started to get a little bit warm, so I went and found one of Cedar's rags, got it wet, wrapped around my neck, and it not only kept the sawdust out, but it also kept me cool. But boy, did it make a mess. I could not ask for a more beautiful wood. The big knots, the tight grain, I love everything about it. So the upstairs 2 bedrooms and the master closet will have this old growth, repurposed pine in it for flooring. Cedar and the kids came up, helped me vacuum, wipe the floor down with a wet rag, and prep it for stain. I put my knee pads on, drank the necessary amount of caffeine for the moment, and went to work. The problem with the artificial light versus the natural light is as I put the stain down, I didn't like it. It didn't have any of the reds or the oranges in it that I thought I wanted. But I trusted Cedar's judgment. I was getting tired, I was getting frustrated, I was getting achy. I was ready to be done with this part of the house. I worked till 3 o'clock in the morning, staining and sealing this last night, trying to get it done so we could move stuff up here. I can see a few little spots that I missed with the satin clear coat, so this evening I'm going to come back up and do one more coat on it. But last night, under the light of the Milwaukee LED, it was more black and gray, and today it's more brown, which is really what I wanted. I love it. It's going to look so good with a white baseboard around it. I really love the way that recycled, repurposed, whatever you want to call it, that wood turned out. It's just unfortunate I don't have more of that stuff. So I did the stuff that I ran through the saw. I did it in places where, with doors closed, it wouldn't be as obvious there's a difference in wood. So I tried to, right on the threshold, right there, I tried to change woods so you wouldn't see it from the hallway if the doors were closed. But no, I love this circle sawn stuff. It's just unfortunate there's not more of it. Anyway, I'm gonna do one more coat this evening and then I think it's ready to go.